Beef heart is loaded with B vitamins, which is excellent for providing energy. And I need energy because I have lymphocytic colitis. Hi there, welcome to episode 16 of my chronic illness journey. My name is Shay McIntosh Ford and I live in Tulsa with my husband, our 2 boys, and our little puppy. I was diagnosed with lymphocytic colitis last April following my bout with COVID-19. This is primarily a vlog about how the lymphocytic colitis affects my day-to-day life. I record what I eat and when, and I drink only water, bone broth, black coffee, which I am trying to increase to every day. And as you will see, I also drink an occasional glass of organic, no sulfite added red wine. And the reason for drinking the wine is if I am in too much pain to fall asleep at night, and acetaminophen hasn't helped. And because colitis is an irritable bowel disease, I also talk about the more unpleasant parts, which is, to put it bluntly, every time I have a bowel movement. Because that can be more than once a day. This week wasn't too bad though. When I do have a bad trip to the bathroom, I take a gluten-free version of Imodium and Pepto-Bismol. The bismuth tablet tastes a little sweet to me, and since I no longer can eat sweets, my running joke is that it turns into a different dessert every time I take it. Diet most certainly matters with this condition, and I'm trying to figure out what works for me. Lately, a carnivore diet works very, very well. For a long time I did the lion diet, and I have recently started being able to branch out to include salmon, some ghee butter, and that's actually about it. This unfortunately is a condition that people know very little about. Even doctors who diagnose this condition don't really know much about it. Some of them say diet does not matter at all. Some say it does. That is the reason for me putting out this video. If you suffer from colitis, I hope that something that I try here or say here might help you. If you have any questions about anything that I'm doing, or if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments down below. I would love to read and respond. In an effort to be more clear about what I eat and how, I have decided to start including a segment of my episodes with how I cook my food. I can post the recipes that I use, but the recipes always have you add spices and vegetables. I can't eat any of that. I will be including how I cook my food. And after that, we'll go into the vlog. So with that said, here we go. So again, sorry, I cannot get the music to work with the voiceover, but we'll go with this. The heat is set to medium, and this is the last of my tallow. So this is beef fat that I have rendered myself. And that's enough, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to speed it up here in just a minute and let it melt. There it goes. And make sure the whole pan is covered. And then I take my Himalayan pink salt. I use this not because it's a frou-frou salt, but because the manufactured table salt that you normally buy is likely contaminated with other spices, and so it's good to use a salt grinder with rock salt. And I just make sure I use plenty of it. And my beef heart comes in these bags. All my meat really comes in these bags. And I'm trying to prop it up so that the juices don't leak out, because now that I'm done cutting it, I have to wash my hands. I wash them and dry them with a paper towel. I dry them with a paper towel, and this is to reduce the risk of cross-contamination, especially with gluten, because my house is not gluten-free. And I will be handling the beef heart with my bare hands, so I do not want to contaminate it. And I don't rinse it or anything, I just put it right in the pan. And those suckers are big, so you definitely need a big pan. And now the heart, I find, always has this really thick middle flap to it. So I tend to cut off the thin parts, so because it's not going to cook evenly. So I'm cutting away a thin portion because that will finish cooking first, and I don't want it to overcook. You want it to be like a nice steak. The best way to eat out beef heart is when it's about medium rare to medium. So you don't want to overcook the thin parts. So that's one thin part that I've cut away, and there's another one under there, under this flap, and I'm just trying to cut it off because the thicker part is going to take a lot longer to cook. And I know I'm probably hurting my pan and scratching it, but I don't really care. It's a lot easier to cut it off in the pan than to fuss with a cutting board, especially in my kitchen with all of the gluten problems that we have. There's lots of heartstrings. I just leave them in. There are recipes that say to, remove the heartstrings and that sort of thing. They don't bother me. I just eat them. It's not a big problem. And finally got that little flap released. So I am going to just let it cook. The thinner parts here, they're going to cook for here on this side maybe about 3 minutes total. I want to say maybe 4. Puppy likes to come and clean the floor for us. I sped this up, so I've come back after about 4 minutes and give it a turn. And I was gonna just sit down, and then I realized, you know what, I better go ahead and turn that big one too. So coming back to turn the big one. It's definitely not done. It's going to need turned a couple of times. And now I'm going to let it cook for about 6 minutes. And I'm going to cut into it and kind of check it, make sure that it's done enough. You don't want it to be overdone. It's not as good. You want it to be, like I said, and I'm going to show you here in a little bit. This side's kind of hard to cut. There's a bit of fat there that's getting in the way. So I flip it over. I'm going to cut on this side just to check it, and I'm going to show you here how done I like it. And this is totally up to you. You can cook it for as long as you like, or if you want it more well done, you can. But I like lots of good pink in there. And the big part is going to take much, much longer to cook. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. And even all the cooking that the big one does in this video, it's not going to be done, but that's okay. So I'm going to speed this up, and as it's cooking, I am eating the thin part. And I'm going to flip it again. I'm probably not done eating the thin part. I'm still eating, because I'm taking the knife and fork with me. And there's the puppy cleaning the floor. I'm going to keep cooking a little longer. This is a fresh plate. This is a big one. The other one was a small plate, like a salad plate. This is a dinner plate. And it's actually still pretty raw on the inside. Not raw, but like rare on the inside. But that's okay, because from here on out, the rest of this beef heart, For the next several days, I will be cutting into bite-sized pieces for every meal and putting it in a bowl with some more tallow or butter. And when I microwave it, those extra rare parts get pretty well cooked. So you don't want to overcook it really. But that was all told from start to finish, 40 minutes. So just getting all the little nice bits in there, and then that's it. I will be wrapping this up and sticking it in the fridge. Good morning. It is Sunday, which means liver for breakfast. I forgot to add the cracklins in. I still have some, but I bought some more salmon, so I'll probably put the cracklins in with some salmon later. I'm doing okay today. I did not need wine last night, so that was good. And hopefully I can keep that up, but probably not. Still waiting for the bad day. Sorry for the sun. I'm gonna have a second meal today. This is about 5 ounces of beef heart, and this is ghee butter because I ran out of tallow. The reason I'm eating a second meal is because after church service this morning, hubby and I signed up for a health club. We are going to Fort Walton Beach this summer, and he wants to lose some weight to go scuba diving. I want to build up energy so that maybe I can join him. Also, I really miss being able to get out and play the harp. I would like to try to get back to that if it's at all possible. I'm being paired with a personal trainer there. I'm an interesting case, and he likes a challenge apparently. Right away they want me to eat carbs, and I'm not quite sure that. I might try some rice, I don't know. But they did say that I'm not eating nearly enough protein. I'm gonna try 2 meals a day for a while. I figure right now it doesn't really matter. I am going to hurt no matter what because it's that time of the month. I did not want to eat this too late in the day because it's beef heart and it has a lot of B vitamins, and I don't want to eat too close to bedtime. Good morning. Time for breakfast. Beef heart and a little bit of the leftover tallow from when I cooked the beef heart, and ghee butter. So that's about 5 ounces of protein with the extra fat. Today's a coffee day. In an effort to increase my protein, I have a salmon fillet thawing out in the fridge for later on. I did need some wine last night. I don't know if I'm cramping from the extra meal or if it's because of PMS or because it really is that time of the month now. No more 24-hour fasts for now, just because I would like to get my energy back up and try to get some light exercise in because I can barely walk the dog. No issues yet other than cramping. Who knows what that's from. Yeah, I've been pretty crampy today. I was kind of expecting this. Toast with butter and grape jelly. I kind of miss my grandparents, and that was always something we ate for breakfast. The only thing that was very nutritious in that breakfast was the butter. Toast with butter and grape jelly was a very distinct flavor that I just remember from my childhood. I am using my phone, so I'm getting in close so that you can hear me because hubby took the computer for now. But I am eating my second meal. This is salmon and ghee butter with the tallow cracklins. And we'll see how I do. Digestively, I think I'm doing okay. I'm still crampy because it's that time of the month. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting because we're going out to eat, and I'm actually going to eat. I called ahead at Outback, and they can prepare a steak with nothing. So I'm gonna be bringing my ghee butter and salt to go with it. So we'll see how that goes. The only difference really is going to be the risk of cross-contamination with something in the kitchen, and the fact that it'll most likely won't be grass-fed. Today's Valentine's Day, and we can't celebrate with a Valentine's dinner tonight because he's taking the boys to their scout meeting. So we're going to do it tomorrow, and it's just going to be the 2 of us. Good morning. Time to eat. Beef heart in tallow with ghee butter. And the tallow is just what was left over after cooking it the other day. I did not need the wine last night. Came close. I was really busy. I stayed up very late last night doing a whole bunch of edits. I was procrastinating. It meant that I had to stay up really late to do edits in order to get my Yarns and Yarns episode out on time. I got about 6 hours of sleep maybe, which is not enough. I still get up early because hubby works from home out of our bedroom, and he gets up about 6 to start working. I'm doing okay, mostly menstrual and tiredness. At least it waited until I dropped my boys off at school today. Macaroons. I went to TJ Maxx to get a yoga mat yesterday, and I had to wait online for like 15 minutes. When you wait online in those stores, you're surrounded by all the extra impulse buys, including a ton of snacks. I kind of miss the days when all I had to worry about was gluten. At the same time, I don't miss those days because I was a lot sicker without knowing why. I'm in these carnivore groups and people talk about occasionally having cheat days. That is not happening to me. Anyway, macaroons. I almost forgot to record this, but Tubby and I went out to dinner. This was the first time I have been out to dinner where I actually ate in over a year. We went to the Outback. So I ordered a 6-ounce sirloin, medium rare, so it's not grass-fed. At first it came out with the side of vegetables that was meant for my husband, and those had the butter on them, so I had to send it back. I hope they made me a fresh one. It was not buttery anyway when it came back out again. We'll see how I do. I will probably have a bad trip to the bathroom in the next day or two just because it's that time of the month and it's getting very close to the bad time of the month. As long as I'm not going like 4 or 5 times in the day, I might be okay and I'd be willing to try it again. I need to start trying this because we are going to Florida for a few days in the summer. We're flying, so I can't bring my food with me. Hopefully I'll be able to find some places where I can actually eat. It is actually a wine night because of it being that time of the month. That was before I ate at the Outback. I was already hurting. It's not digestive pain, it's menstrual pain. But I need it in order to fall asleep because I won't be able to otherwise. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep through the night. I'm kind of excited and a little nervous at the same time, so we'll see how I do. Oh, I brought my own salt and ghee butter. I didn't actually need the salt because they have salt grinders there. It's not the processed salt from factories, which would be contaminated. I used their salt. I brought my own ghee butter so that I could have some extra fat because it was just the sirloin. I needed more than just the protein. If we weren't at a restaurant, I would have licked my plate. I do that at home, especially if I have ghee butter. Because ghee butter, I don't have any bread to sop it up. I sop up as much as I can with the bits of meat. I kind of swirl it around in the melted butter. If there's still butter left on the plate, I will lick the plate when I'm at home. But I was at the restaurant and all that lovely butter had to just sit on the plate because I didn't have anything to sop it up with. The joys of plate licking. Good morning. It is Wednesday, which means time for liver. This is in ghee butter with beef cracklings. It's the last of my liver and they still haven't restocked it, so I may end up going to Whole Foods to get more. It's coffee day. I'm feeling okay. That's good. So far I haven't reacted to Outback Steakhouse. Maybe that's something I can do. We're also gonna try Red Robin and Applebee's. Those were safe places for me to eat with keto and gluten. I gotta call ahead and make sure that they're not gonna add spices or butter or vegetable oils to their food. I'm excited about that. Maybe occasionally eat out once in a while. I mean, I'm still crampy, but that's menstrual, so no added extra problems from eating out. I am still not blaming the steak last night on this yet. I don't think that I'm gonna have to go again, but I mean, I still have pain, and I am actually going to the health club today to meet with my new personal trainer to start talking about different things. I'm not quite sure what to expect, so if I end up doing any exercises, I don't know how I'm gonna respond. Chocolate covered espresso beans. I would love some of those right now. I'm pretty sure that was also in the line at TJ Maxx, but I don't ever remember finding gluten-free ones there. That was always hard to find as a gluten-free treat. Sorry for the intense sunspots. I am eating a little early today. So this is beef heart in the tallow discs from the bone broth jars. The reason I'm eating this early is because I plan to go to a yoga class at 6:30. I wanted to give my food a chance to digest a bit, but I didn't want to wait until after class because this is beef heart and I don't want to wait that long. And this is actually a little bit more, like an ounce more than I would normally eat, but there was only 1 ounce left and I'm like, well, might as well eat it up. I'm still doing okay. I'm still crampy, so I'm probably gonna have wine tonight. So far, the little bit of exercise that I did this afternoon did not seem to affect me too much, other than the fact that I was exhausted. And it really wasn't much. It was mostly just to assess my abilities. There were a few things where I have no core. Like, he wanted me to lay on my back and lift my legs, and I couldn't do that. 2 years ago, yeah, before COVID, sure, I could have done stuff like that. Not now. Good morning. I'm still in my PJs because I was being very lazy. I am so sore from yesterday. I did both the personal training intro and then yoga. I was trembling so much in that yoga class. I'm so weak, but it is time for breakfast. I have salmon in ghee butter, and I'm a little disappointed that my salmon stuck to the pan. I thought my pan was hot enough, and it tore off all the skin underneath on top now. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good. The menstrual problem is ending. I should be good today, except for sore muscles. So far, so good with the exercise. It hasn't been bothering me. I only did a little bit of cardio, which was always a problem before. Hopefully the fasting that I did kind of reset me a little bit. Even though I'm still having a problem here and there, it's not as bad as it's been. Hopefully today's a good day. It's a little early, but I was actually hungry, probably because of all of the exercise I did yesterday. This is ground lamb in ghee butter, and that's it. That's all. I'm really sore, which is expected, but this morning I did need a nap. It was more than just soreness, it was exhaustion. Like, I could not keep my eyes open. So after I dropped the boys off at school, I laid down for a couple hours and just took a nap. I did manage to get some sprints in with my riding friend. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. I'm just glad that I haven't reacted yet to the exercise. I'm looking forward to getting back into shape. Good morning. I've got ground lamb and ghee butter, and it's a coffee day. I thought about doing everyday coffee this week, but I'm gonna wait until I get used to this exercise thing. So far, so good, but I'm still tired. I went to bed early last night. Still sore, which I expect to be sore, but I didn't expect to struggle to keep my eyes open. But today I have meat from the ranch coming because they restocked their organ meats. So I'm probably going to have oxtail for dinner. I thought about making some more bone broth, but I still have some. I did need wine last night, not because of the sore muscles, but because I was having some cramping issues. But I think I'm getting past that point. I hope. We'll see. It's hard to tell because of the exercise. Even though I was really tired, I was in enough pain that I didn't think I would be able to sleep without the wine. Hopefully I won't need any more for a while. All right, it's really late, but I was just being lazy. I wanted oxtail. It meant that I needed to clean the Instant Pot because hubby had used it to make his pork shoulder, and I just didn't feel like cleaning it at the time. I am ready to eat. I wasn't hungry earlier, and so I wasn't motivated to get cleaning. I have a feeling that I'm going to skip my first meal tomorrow and just have one meal. I'm doing okay. Tomorrow I plan to do some more yoga. So far, so good. I'm really happy that I'm not reacting to all this exercise. It's not cardio, which was what I seem to have reacted to before. You know, brisk walks and stuff. I am still in my PJs because Leo and the boys are out camping with the scouts, and I don't have anywhere to be until 10:30. But I'm not eating. The reason I'm recording, I had decided to try some coffee. It's not a coffee day, that was yesterday, but I haven't had to go for this is day 3 now. I just figured my body might be able to handle coffee. I'm thinking maybe the exercise is helping to kind of regulate everything, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a nutritionist. I know a little bit more than most, probably because of what I've gone through. So I'm gonna try it, see what happens. I have yoga at 10:30. The only problem I'm having with yoga, well, I only had the one class so far. We'll see how I do. And actually, that's the other reason for the coffee. When I did the yoga class, I had trouble with the inverted poses where I had to hang my head down, including just putting my head down on the mat, like in child's pose. I just get a lot of extra pain right in the front. Maybe the caffeine from the coffee will kind of open the blood vessels a little more and help with that. I don't know. That's my theory. I'm also going to take a acetaminophen before I go just to help. I did take one before the last yoga class, but I still had that pain with the inverted poses. I mean, hopefully that'll go away. I don't remember that pain when I took yoga before. That was like, the last time I took a yoga class was like 5 years ago at least, if not more. I had a BM at about 10 o'clock. I was gonna wait to record until after my yoga class. I got down the street and realized that I forgot to unlock the doggy door. Not only that, but Siri was going to make me late anyway. I'd never been to this location. The construction won't let me turn left where she wants me to turn left. I am not going to my yoga class this morning. It actually starts right now. I'll have to go later on. There's a class on Monday, and I'll just look for other classes at other locations because I really wanted to do some more yoga. So I just wanted to say that I did have a BM and it was almost normal, and I'm doing okay. Hopefully I can do some yoga later. It's that time of day of sunspots. Sorry, it's intense, I know. I am ready to eat. So I've got beef tongue. I'm gonna eat more than this. It's just that this happens to be done. You can probably hear the rest of it still sizzling in the pan, and I'll just kind of eat them as they are finished. I'll eat about half the tongue and then I'll eat the other half later. Probably not today, it's awfully late for a second helping. See how I feel? I'm awfully hungry. I've been hungry, but I was lazy earlier and didn't start it soon enough. I should really start cooking before I get hungry, especially with beef tongue. It takes a long time because it's a 2-step process. By the time it's going, I'm like, oh, wish it were done. I'm hungry. And I will leave it here. I hope I've helped you. Like I said, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I would love to answer them. I will try to link more information down below about this condition and anything that I think might be useful. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye. I was diagnosed with lymphocytic.
Oh, sorry.
Or I'll delete it if I didn't say it. If I did say it. Anyway. I decided to